Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Parksville and District Chamber podcast. My name is Sean, and this is my co-host, Curtis. And we're proud to be part of this youth-led podcast series created through the Parksville and District Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber plays a huge role in supporting local businesses, strengthening our economy, and building a connected community. And this podcast is all about learning from the amazing organizations and the members who makes Parksville what it is. We're here to highlight their stories, their impact, and the industries that keep our region thriving. As youth hosts, we're also excited to help other young people learn how they can get involved, whether it's through volunteering, exploring local career pathways, or understanding the businesses that shape the place we call home. And today, we're joined by a special guest, so I'm going to pass it over to Curtis.
Awesome. Yeah. So today we're joined by Barrie McWha, who is the president here at Parksville and District Chamber of Commerce. He runs a company called Wedgwood Golf Management, which specializes in golf course management, maintenance, and marketing. And in addition, the partners have experience in construction, renovations, and growing. He has a ton of experience with a lengthy golf resume and is an amazing guest, and we feel grateful to have him and sit down and talk with him today. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Parksville and District Chamber podcast. And we're super excited to have Barrie with us here today. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it.
So yeah, to start us off, for listeners that are meeting you for the first time, how did your career in golf first begin?
Little League Baseball ended. Literally, I took up golf because baseball ended in June.
Yep.
I was probably in my early teens. And we lived right across the street from a family club that had golf and badminton and curling and so on. And so a friend of mine and I decided we should try this. And turned out to be a very good junior program. So a lot of the kids in the neighborhood played, and it kind of went from there. I played a lot, became reasonably good. I caddied for the golf pro there, and then shagged balls for him in the evening when he practiced. So I sort of learned by observation. And then played in tournaments as a junior and so on, and never really ever thought of it as a career. I mean, we're going back to a time when it really wasn't a mainstream job.
Right.
But I was playing at Southwood Golf Club as a junior member, and the golf pro there was, I went to school with his daughter, and we became friends, and then I guess he saw something and said, "Have you ever thought about it?" The answer was no. But I did think about it, and I started working for him as an apprentice, and the rest is history.
Very cool. So you've been part of the PGA of Canada since 1967, if I'm correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's kept you passionate about the sport for so long? What's really kept you into that?
It's a great game, but it became first of all, I was able to make a decent living doing it. I met a lot of terrific people through golf, either at the various golf clubs or throughout the industry. And so I'm one of those fortunate people that's never had a job. I can't wait to wake up in the morning and get to the golf course. And it's never been about hours or anything like that. I enjoy playing. I competed a long time ago, but not in recent years. It wasn't necessarily my thing. I held the course record at Southwood for many years, and so I could play. But traveling, living out of a suitcase was never my dream.
Yeah, no, totally.
My dream was to become the head pro at a private country club.
Cool.
And I achieved that. And as I said, made a good living, raised our family, and so it's something that's just in my blood. And
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing anything else.
Yeah. Do you find that it's nowadays, is it easier, or do you think it'd be more difficult to get into that profession and make a living off of it?
Well, as an example, in the PGA in Canada, my membership number was 293, still is.
Wow.
Okay.
There's 44,000 members
Right.
in the association now.
Wow.
And so it has grown. Golf has grown through the late 60s and 70s, the Arnold Palmer era. Golf really started to boom, and then the tipping point was when real estate, golf became a great sales tool for real estate.
Yeah.
And that all occurred in the late 70s. And so from that point on, golf and real estate have been very closely associated.
Right.
And property values around a golf course are higher. People like to look out on a park. And so it's been growing. It went through a dip, I'll say, in the early 2000s. And I'm not even sure why. I think everything sort of goes in cycles. We found here when we came out of COVID, it was like somebody blew the doors off. And because it was safe, it was social, it was outside, and there was a real boom after COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I've kind of noticed that too. Like, it's something that I've recently got into, and just talking to people, it seems like there's a lot of people that have just picked up the sport recently, which is really, really cool to see.
You're speaking to two addicts of the game right now. I started in 2022, I think, 2023.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked back.
Yeah.
I play out at Mount Brenton. So
Oh,
I've
do
just
you?
been,
Yeah. Good.
got very into it. So I was very excited to actually talk to you about this.
I think that golf is a social enterprise. And people join golf clubs or they play with their friends at golf courses because of that.
Yeah.
And it's that's where the growth has come now. Is the two growth areas in golf right now are women and girls. And but that, now there's heroes, whether it's Brooke Henderson or others. That's always helpful. And so now golf's in a very strong position. I was involved in on the national scale in the industry, and we did an impact study of golf, had it done for the industry. And golf's a $16 billion industry in Canada.
Wow.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Okay. There's over 400,000 people employed, and so it's a serious industry now.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's a big part of tourism, a big part of recreation, and businesses like being involved in golf. So.
Yeah. And our country makes some beautiful golf courses too. Just the nature.
There's over 2,500 courses in Canada. And a lot are in the top 100 in the world, starting with places like Banff and Jasper. So it is. Golf is Canadians. 20% of the Canadian population plays golf.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
As a participation sport.
Yeah.
Golf is number one.
Wow.
Greater than hockey, and I'm talking all other participation sports combined. Golf is bigger.
Number one. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you were speaking about business, and so I wanted to ask you, for listeners who haven't heard of Wedgwood Golf Management, can you describe that a little bit?
Well, Ray and Mike Riva, their family used to own Eagle Crest at the time that I was building Pheasant Glen. And so we became friends. We became not associates, but certainly we're all in the same business. And Ray and I actually started Golf Vancouver Island, which is an inbound tour operator for golf on the island.
Right.
We did that in '95, primarily because we needed to see more tourists come to this part of the island.
For sure.
And so, you know, it's they went one direction, I went another, and about almost 10 years ago now, we got back together, and Ray is a finance major. His brother Mike is a golf course superintendent, and I'm a golf professional and a club manager.
Perfect.
So it just seemed to make sense.
For sure. Yeah.
And we've had a number of clients around the province, and Morningstar became one of them through the receiver. Ray lives in Vancouver, Mike lives in Vernon, and I live here.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we make it work.
No,
Cool.
that's awesome. And when you're involved in course management, what are some of the challenges some of your clients would come to you? Like, what's a common challenge that you can help them through?
Staff.
Oh, okay.
Finding them, training them, keeping them.
Right.
Particularly here, it's been interesting in the Qualicum Beach, Parksville area, because over the years, this has become a fairly expensive place to live.
Yeah.
And so consequently, as for businesses to be successful, you need to be able to find good people, and you need to be able to keep them.
Yeah.
And the one advantage we have here is we can provide some year-round employment. You know, in Winnipeg, golf courses aren't very active from November till April. And so you're always finding new people. But, you know, staffing is a big, not concern. It's just without people, you don't have a business. So,
For sure.
you know, we were as high as 55 employees at Morningstar this year.
Wow.
And probably 25 of them would be year round.
Wow.
So it's, you know, and again, you know, wages go up, and so you need to be more successful as a business in order to be able to pay for good people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that, sorry, you said 55. Does that also include restaurant staff as well? Okay.
Yeah.
How many maintenance workers do you think you would have out there?
Well, peak season, we were at 18.
Okay.
Golf courses are an interesting business model because you have a retail operation, you have a sports operation, you have a restaurant operation, an instruction operation, finance, administrative operation.
Yeah.
So all of those are businesses in their own right.
Right.
But you find them all in every golf course. So, you know, it's an interesting business to be part of, and ever-changing like most businesses.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Wow. This is kind of a weird question, but how do you decide the person who gets to choose the pin placement?
Well, typically that would be our superintendent,
Okay.
unless it's a tournament, which is different. But on a daily basis, you change the pin location every day, because you don't want all that traffic in the same location day after day.
Yeah.
And provides more interest to the game. But that typically would be the superintendent or his assistant would typically do that.
Yeah, makes sense. Are you a fan of the Greenskeeper Revenge? Have you ever heard of that?
The superintendent's not a fan of that name. We at Morningstar we called it the Iron Man.
Oh, cool.
Somebody floated the idea about the superintendent's revenge, but
Yeah.
to be honest, none of us really liked that title.
No. Eh?
You know, it was,
Yeah.
you know, the Iron Man plays the golf course as long as it can be played, and the pins are in the toughest locations.
Yeah.
And we sold it out in, it was less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And, you know, because everybody gets a kick out of it. It's different than a normal run-of-the-mill day.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
kidding. For sure. No kidding. Yeah. So we were talking a little bit about the employment aspect of that. So what does a strong golf operation mean for the local economy in terms of jobs, tourism, community activity? How important is that? in our culture.
Well, it's very important for a number of reasons. One, it's a recreational amenity. Two, as I said, we employed 50 people.
Yeah.
Meaningful jobs year-round, most of them, half of them. The instruction component became very big. It's growing right now at Morningstar, and there's some great golf professionals there running junior programs, and we have a program going on with one of the local private schools to basically provide an instruction program of excellence.
Right.
It hosts competitions. Morningstar is a golf course that both Golf Canada and British Columbia Golf like to hold tournaments of excellence at. And so it's got a pedigree there, and that brings, a couple of hundred people to the community. It provides entertainment, it provides competition, and it's always fun as a golf course to host an event like that, because it's kind of like the circus comes to town for a week, and everybody gets pretty jazzed up about it, and you get to show off a little bit. So it's good in that respect.
Yeah, I play in quite a few tournaments every year now. I've gotten addicted to those as well. And that's always what I look forward to the most, is the community feel, the aspect where you come to the golf course and, there's crowds of people, and that people are intermingling and sharing food, and there's fun prizes, and there's always good speeches. So it really makes you feel like you're part of a community.
Yeah, it's an event. And anybody who's played competitively knows that there's a difference between just going out to play golf and playing in a tournament. It's a completely different mindset.
Yeah.
And, lots of people don't like it. That's the recreational golfer.
Yeah.
But lots do enjoy the competition aspect of it. And fortunately on the island, there's all kinds of events to play in.
Yeah. Is there any specific tournament that in your career that you're like, this was one of my favorites, or there's something about it that really drew people together in the community?
I would be hard pressed to name one.
Okay.
At Morningstar, we had the BC Amateur. We had the BC Junior, boys and girls. Coming up, they have the Canadian University Championships.
Cool.
So, they're fun events. They're a great way to show off your product. And it's a great team building exercise because, we get all of our staff, obviously, but all of the members will volunteer because it takes a lot of manpower to make an event work. And so you don't want to see it every year, but it's kind of nice to know that you can put those events on and people really get a kick out of it, whether they're playing in it or they're watching it or they're volunteering at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know some golf courses still have a day where the members will come out and volunteer. I think that's really important, actually, for golf courses to do that.
You mean on the golf course?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a team building thing, and people are proud of the golf course that they play at.
Yeah.
And it gives them an opportunity to show it off. So,
definitely.
Yeah. You mentioned the tournaments with youth, so from university students to kids. For a while, we were seeing, at least from my perspective, that there was less youth, and maybe it's to what you said earlier, trends come and go, but what's something we can do to really help youth pursue the sport of golf?
I think that it'll vary from golf course to golf course, depending on whether it's a private club with an older membership or a public facility. A lot depends on the operators. Some are keen to do it and others aren't. I've always been a fan of junior golf because that's how I got into it.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of adults that put on programs so that kids like I could benefit from it. The other thing that happens too is I'll use my own kids as an example where they became decent players just because they grew up around the game.
Yeah.
Our daughter was a good player, and she was in hotel sales. And she found that when people found out that she could play, it opened a lot of business doors for her. And so golf can be a conduit for people to meet people that can help them later in life down any number of different employment channels. And plus, it's a game you can play for your whole life.
Totally.
And unlike hockey or some of the other sports where you can watch your kids, golf you can play with them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, actually. I was telling a few people, because I've really been getting into it recently, is like, I'm trying to get good so that, you know, when I'm older, I can play well still. Like, it's the one sport where your skills can really stay with you.
Well,
awesome.
The average age of the membership locally is about 70.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And there were people at 4 or 5 of them at Morningstar that are plus 90.
Wow.
Yeah.
They would still play golf.
Still play golf. Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
That is
impressive.
very impressive. Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I know a member at Mount Brenton as well. He's over 9 years old, and he'll walk and he'll carry some days, and I can't believe it because I don't even carry.
Yeah. One of the reasons he's 90 is that he's active.
Oh,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, actually, we wanted to get into some operations talk a little bit. So we were reading into water management has been a major focus for Morningstar from what we can understand. Can you talk about the system that you developed to store 20 million gallons of water, and why was that needed?
When Morningstar was built in the late 80s, it opened in 91, there was no water under the ground.
Right.
So Morningstar was built based on access to effluent water from French Creek. And for the first many years, that worked. In recent years, seawater started infiltrating into the sewage system. So the effluent water that they were sending to Morningstar had a very high salt content. And salt and grass don't work well together.
No.
So there were 2 large holding ponds at Morningstar that could hold 15 million gallons.
Right.
The annual requirement was about 30 million gallons.
Okay.
I mean, on a 100-day period where you're watering the golf course, you're going through 200,000 or 300,000 gallons a night.
A night? Did you
A
say?
night.
Wow.
It's 180 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, makes
we
sense,
played it
but it's
recently.
just-
Yeah.
Of course.
So, so at any rate, we got to a stage where we couldn't bring effluent up because it was coming with salt.
Right.
And so we were looking at a number of different ways of either expanding ponds or more efficient pumping system. And so that's where we are right now.
Cool. Just kind of going back to the question we asked you earlier about staffing. Food and beverage operations are becoming more important to golf clubs and golf members and their overall experience at their club. How does investing in that side of the business impact the course's success?
Well, it's a challenge because the biggest challenge is most people need an income year-round. And so the objective with a restaurant is to be able to keep it functioning year-round.
Yeah.
Okay? That can be difficult because obviously in the wintertime golf slows down. And so we were able to find some good people. The challenge was keeping them and staying operational and being positively operational.
Yeah.
Year round. And that's a challenge that everyone in our business is familiar with.
For sure. And it must be like even more prevalent in some areas of Canada where like there's total course closure.
Yeah.
At least over here on the West Coast, we still can play winter golf, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and I can tell you firsthand, the culture piece is huge in a restaurant, and I think that's where a lot of people that's where they end their day. You know,
Yeah.
that's where they come together and they eat and share stories and stuff. So I think it's a huge part of the culture too, right?
Well, the other thing too is when you have an event, they want to have a dinner.
Yes.
So you're in the banquet business as well as the daily restaurant
Yep.
business. And you're right, that post-game beer is,
Yeah.
if you didn't have that, you wouldn't have golfers.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially after some of my rounds. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So looking ahead, what kind of innovations or improvements to golf courses do you think are going to define the next era of golf course management?
Well, I think AI is obviously right on the radar.
Right.
In terms of efficiencies, in terms of marketing, it's like, in the earlier years, we'd all have our brochures and our pamphlets. Well, now pretty much everything is online.
Yeah.
And so having an online presence for marketing, and everybody needs to be marketing, whether it's a daily fee golf course or a private club.
Mm-hmm.
You're marketing a different thing, but it's still marketing.
Definitely.
Operating efficiently, the course maintenance budget at a place like Morningstar is going to be between $750,000 and $1 million. Okay? You got mowers that are costing $200,000.
Right.
So everything has become more technical, and everything requires higher skill levels to make them work. So it's, like every business, sophistication is part of the discussion.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I've always been curious. You said, $750,000 to $1 million annual budget. Is that what you said? So,
and many would be over $1 million.
right.
Yeah.
So what percentage is member fees typically, and what percentage is guest fees? Because I know that this is from my understanding. Do members kind of make the golf course break even, and guests are what? No.
I wish it was that simple.
Okay.
Yeah. It depends on the structure of the business.
Okay.
I'll use Morningstar as an example where we've had as high as 275 members.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a limit to what people will pay to be a member in this part of the world.
Right.
Okay? So Morningstar was dependent on daily fee play as well.
Mm-hmm.
Daily fee play is a higher revenue per round. But if they can't get prime tee times, then they're going somewhere else. So it was a balancing act between how many members do we have because they get an advantage to the tee sheet first,
Right.
versus how many tee times can we keep available for people that are paying $75 or $80 a round, as opposed to the average member round is about $25. So it's that kind of a balancing act.
Okay.
And in the end, we allowed the total membership base to drop a little bit so that we would have more times available for daily fee players.
Right.
And we just do that balancing act.
Yeah. It's good to know. I've
Yeah.
always kind of been curious about that.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's, recognizing that April till October is prime time, but the bills still keep coming in the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And members are playing more in the winter, but
Yes.
fewer daily fee rounds.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so transitioning a little bit over to the chamber here. You've served on chambers before, including the president of Qualicum Beach, from my understanding. What motivated you to take on the president role here in Parksville?
I was the last man standing. No, I joined the chamber because at the end of the day, AI and social media notwithstanding, it's still interaction with humans. And we are invested in the local community in the hopes that the local community will invest in us.
Yeah.
And so I've always been a chamber member. In this case, I got on the board a year ago. There were some people left and so on. And so I was asked and I said yes. And, I enjoy this kind of thing. First of all, I enjoy the connections with people outside of the world of golf.
Yeah.
And secondly, I think the Chamber is an important organization locally. And I feel an obligation to do what I can for whatever period of time I can do it.
Yeah.
No,
Fair enough.
absolutely.
What do you think the Chamber's most important role for local businesses are today?
I think it's well, in this case, it's three things, really. First of all, the Visitor Info Center is a huge part of the Chamber, and the Chamber operates it on behalf of the region and because we are a tourist destination. Secondly, to support business, to make sure that people are aware of the businesses that serve this community. And thirdly, just to advocate for business with government, work with government, to ensure that nobody loses sight of how important small business is. We don't, we were one of the bigger employers. I think the school division is probably the biggest employer.
Right.
But typically an area like this is built on small business.
Yeah.
And small business needs support because they're not big enough to do it all on their own.
For sure.
So,
Fair enough.
yeah. And there is a social component to it as well. And we see that at our monthly dinners
Yeah.
where people just come together. We share stories. We have each other's back. We learn about challenges that they're facing and share the ones we're facing. And so it's an important organization on the local level.
Yeah. No, I think especially here in Parksville, it's such a unique area with, like you were saying, the amount of tourism and all the businesses that cater to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can imagine there's probably
or that support the businesses that cater to that.
Exactly. So I can imagine there's a lot of interesting stories and cool people that you get to meet throughout that journey.
Yeah.
What opportunities do you see ahead for the Parksville business community, and how do you think the Chamber can support them?
Well, it's interesting now. We've lived in Oceanside since 1989, and the change has been significant. Okay? I see restaurants that could not have made it here in the early days. There just wasn't the market to support it.
Right.
I think that people are becoming much more aware of the island generally. I know when we first moved out here, people thought we were coming to Victoria Island.
I've heard that one
I'm not aware of a Victoria Island. So but in the intervening years, I would be getting calls every year from places east of here in Canada. And you could see it growing where people were looking for a place to retire. People were looking for a place to live that maybe had a softer winter. I would be one of those people.
Fair enough.
And so, it's been interesting to watch the evolution of the Central Island. And, there's lots going on and more coming. Typically what I hear is people come on a vacation and that plants the seed for moving.
Yeah.
And in our case, we would get phone calls because they want to know what the golf courses are like in the area.
Yep.
And because that's going to be an important factor for them.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, in my personal opinion, I think Vancouver Island has some beautiful ones. So I'm sure it pulls a lot of decent golfers here, at least for tourism.
Yeah. I've golfed mostly on Vancouver Island, and I've golfed a few other places, but mostly here, and I absolutely love it. It's just amazing here. They call it nature's shot tracer. So when you see that ball kind of go in the line of the trees, it's it's beautiful.
It's a wonderful place to live.
Yeah.
And the fact that we can have a gentle winter.
Yep.
Gentle enough for some people to play golf. It's a pretty special place, and we're lucky to be here.
For sure.
I've seen all of Canada. You won't get me off this island.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, for sure.
Okay, so you've said many times that relationships are one of the greatest assets in business. How has that belief shaped your approach to leadership, a leadership role?
Well, I think you have to get to know people and listen more than talk. And you know, I mean, we are creatures of trying to think of the right term. We're social animals, and for the most part, and so you know, I've met a lot of great people over my working career.
Yeah.
They're not all great, but they probably don't all think I'm great. So, you know, it's just a nice venue to operate in. And at the end of the day, none of us are an island. You know, we all need other people, whether it's for things or for company or for support or whatever it is. We need other people, and we get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say is an experience in the golf industry that's really impacted you in your professional life?
The people that I've met, for sure, would be number one.
Okay.
You know, it is an opportunity to just interact with so many people.
Yeah.
And you know, that and $3 will get you coffee, but it's just nice. You know, I've got friends across the country and throughout the United States and in Britain that I could trace back to golf. And so that's important to me. It may not be important to others, but to me it is. And then through golf, I got involved in the association because I'm wired that way.
Yeah.
And I ended up becoming president of the PGA. And that was an opportunity that I couldn't replicate. You know, I spoke at the PGA of America. I was a member of the British PGA. It just opened doors for me that wouldn't otherwise be there. I was a guest of the Masters in '84. That's an opportunity that doesn't come along.
No
Not
kidding.
that way. I mean, I had clubhouse privileges and everything else, so it was an amazing experience.
No kidding.
Unreal.
And one which I carry with me in terms of every golf course I've been at. I've used some of that experience.
Yeah.
So, it's been a good trip.
Yeah.
For sure.
No kidding.
I think that leads into one of your other
Yes.
questions there, Sean.
Okay, we've got a few fun questions here. So
These are the ones I wasn't allowed to look
These
at.
are the ones we're allowed to look at. Okay, so who do you think is the greatest golfer of all time? Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, or John Daly?
I'm not a fan of greatest.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of John Daly.
Okay.
Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus will always be compared. And I've met both of them. I've met Arnold Palmer. I've met Lee Trevino, Chichi Rodriguez. They're all great golfers. I'm not going to say one's better than the other. Their records speak for themselves.
For sure.
And you know, when I look at the equipment that people like Arnold Palmer played with versus the equipment we get to play with now,
Very true, yeah.
I mean, that's a huge difference. I
Yeah.
still have drivers with a head the size of this microphone.
Yeah, it's
You
crazy.
know, it's so you know, things change, and I think what is it, the GOAT.
The GOAT, yeah.
Concept.
Greatest of all time, yeah.
I think you always have to look at it in isolation in
For sure,
terms
yeah.
of time frames.
That's
Yeah.
a good answer.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
It's not the answer Sean's looking
No, I
for, but
wanted
it's a
some
great
controversy
answer.
here, but that's totally fine. Yeah, no, that makes total sense. But the John Daly thing was a joke, by the way.
Yes, true enough. He's an entertainer.
Yeah, totally. Would you like to ask the next one?
Yeah. Who's going to win the Masters this year?
I hope that Justin Rose or Tommy Fleetwood.
Two great choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the Augusta is it's unlike any other place I've ever been. And one shot can make or break a tournament. It's much more hilly than anybody can realize from television.
Yes.
That was the thing that impacted me.
So I've heard.
And so it's it's the kind of golf course that if you don't have your A game and a little bit of luck, you're not in the equation.
Yeah. Did you get to go on the greens and
Oh, yeah.
experience what those look like? Because I've seen videos of like they take like a heat or a thermal camera of it, and they show where all the turns and everything are.
Yeah.
But is it like that in real? Yeah.
I watched them. I don't know if you know what a stimp meter is, but
It's what they read the green with.
well, it's what they set ball speed at.
Right. Okay.
Green speed at.
Yeah.
So I watched them roll a ball off the stimp meter on the back of the 18th green, and it rolled off the front.
Wow.
So how does one even? You
How
just
do
can't
you
go there.
putt that?
You can't go
Well,
there.
that's what the average golfer can't really understand about how good these players are,
Yeah.
particularly when it comes to the short game shots around those greens. And I mean, we all saw the shot that Tiger holed on the 16th green, and the average player, they don't have, even the average tour player doesn't have that shot. It's the greens are so fast, but they're so true. It's
Yeah. I guess
special.
It's hard to miss there. Like you have to hit a specific spot of the green, otherwise you are in deep trouble.
Well, and the players are so good at controlling the spin on a ball.
Yeah.
The average person trying to get it in the air, they know how fast it's spinning when it lands. So it's just a different game in those senses.
Yeah.
They're just. I remember the first time we were doing a show at the Calgary Stampede.
Yeah.
And George Knudsen, Bob Charles, and Al Balding came and did a demonstration. And that was the first time that I'd heard the sound that it makes when a tour player hits a golf ball. Okay?
So
and it
pure.
is a distinctive sound.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they are so good. At the same time, they're fit, they're well trained, and they do it every day.
Yeah.
So they practice at it the same way we all hold down normal jobs,
Totally.
and they're that good. Yeah. They just play the game at a completely different level.
Yeah. That's so cool. You'd mentioned that you had shot a course record somewhere. What course is that at?
Southwood. In
Southwood.
Winnipeg. Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask what that was? What that course
64.
64.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Holy.
Oh my goodness! I haven't
Yeah.
even sniffed 72.
Okay, this is a fun one then for you, Barry. How many hole-in-ones have you got in your career?
None.
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 Wow.
We were talking about that. We
Yeah.
were like, what if he says none, or he could have like 100? I don't. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know, right?
We
It's
had a
lucky.
fella at Morningstar. He's gone now, but he had 6.
Wow.
He had holes in one on every par 3 on Morningstar.
At Morningstar. Wow.
Yeah. Or at least that's what he says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That is insane.
Yeah. I have yet to get one. I have one sitting on the lip, and I'm sure you've probably had
just
a few
keep
of those.
playing.
Yeah.
I actually almost got one at Morningstar a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh.
You
was
stuck
like-
it to 2 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
felt good. But
Well, you know the hole is 3 times bigger than the ball,
yeah.
Okay.
so it shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah. No kidding.
You would think.
Yeah. Just put it in the hole.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever heard of YouTube golf before?
YouTube?
YouTube golf.
No.
So this is like probably in 2018. There's been YouTube golfers coming up, but it got really, really big throughout COVID. But it's essentially just golfers who are usually pretty good taking a camera out there and recording themselves golf and doing a whole, they'll bring on celebrities or they'll bring on different guests and stuff like that. And it's very, very fun and addicting to watch. So the reason why we asked that, we wanted to know if you had a favorite YouTube golfer or anyone like that. Bryson DeChambeau, he also has a YouTube channel, and we are just addicted to watching it. It's every single night. That's all we put on. It's this form of content that if you've never watched YouTube golf, it's very raw, and you get to listen to the conversations, and it's a lot more of the personality behind golf.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and that's where, social media has created a whole new department of that kind of interaction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remind you that you're talking to a guy that's never done a podcast before. So
yes.
But it's some of the stuff is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I confess I'm a traditionalist when it comes to golf.
Okay.
It drives me wild when I see the videos on TV on the internet about racing golf cars around and doing stupid things.
Yeah.
That I don't get a kick out of. I think it plants the wrong seeds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Golf in the end is a huge industry. It's a great game, and it's a wonderful way to be social.
Yeah.
And fit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very true.
So
yeah.
Cool.
It's the greatest sport on earth, I think.
you won't get any argument here.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, Barrie, for coming on the podcast today. If any listeners out there, if they want to learn more about some of the stuff you've done or Wedgwood in general, where can they reach out for that?
LinkedIn.
Okay.
Our Wedgwood Golf website.
Cool.
And I'm sure they can find me somewhere.
Yeah, at Chamber events.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Perfect.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Barrie. It's been
Thank you.
Great meeting you.
Great opportunity.
Cool.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
See you later.